Hello, peace, everybody. And my name is Brenda, and I am the founder of Culture Shifters Unite. I am your resident mystic, media maker, and culture shifter. And what I wanted to do was to give a little BTS, a little behind the scenes on the Shift Her retreat. So you've probably seen me post about it. If you're in my Substack community, you've absolutely seen things about it. But I think because our schedules are so full and we're so busy, overprogrammed, that we may miss things. And we're in the midst of right now a global pandemic of genocides. We are still faced with a pandemic. There are people who are still, unfortunately, coming down with COVID. It has not gone anywhere. We are caregivers, we are mothers, we are community builders, activists, business owners, and maybe all of the above, all at the same time. And so this is why I'm gathering. I'm summoning in now 11 amazing women to go on this voyage with me on the Shift Hers retreat. So this is a collective. We're looking at collective exhaustion, especially BIPOC women. And we've been carrying the load for quite a while. We know that 92% of Black women carried the vote during our last presidential election, and that was no easy feat, while simultaneously caring for families and running our businesses. My personal journey with grief and caregiving really started back in 2022. I would say September of 2022, when my mother was experiencing a shortness of breath. And we took her to the hospital on Labor Day 2022. And her doctor said that if we had waited any longer, she may not be here with us. And so immediately she started a regimen of oxygen. It wouldn't be until later that we would discover that she had a spot on her lung. And once we cleared the double pneumonia and the pulmonary embolism, there was unfortunately lung cancer. She would go into hospice, and March 5th, 2024 is when my mother took her last. My sister and I were there on either side of her, and I say I had the privilege of walking my mother home. My father has been since clinically diagnosed with dementia. So not only am I running a very real full-time business, a full-time cohort of amazing women in a 12-month program, launched a podcast that is entering into its third season, while launching a talk show and facilitating retreats and doing community work. It doesn't fall flat on me that capacity building is needed. And not just so that we can add more, really building capacity, or the theme of capacity to carry the call, means to honor your exhaustion, to honor your fatigue, and to honor your rage, because rage is holy. When we pay attention to anger, when we pay attention to what has our attention, we can really then take a step back. And in another video, I talked about grief and how grief is information. And instead of looking at it as something to push away, grief is very informative. It lets you know at any one time what you can carry. And anything that feels too heavy, from personal experience, you will have to let go. Because I deal with repetitive conversations. I deal with forgetting, but not remembering that you forgot. I deal with having to plan activities before I can even leave the house. I have to make sure that he's covered, to make sure that he's eaten, that he has meals, scheduling doctor's appointments around my own client appointments and places that I have to be. So, some of us may even be in a sandwich generation where you are raising children and taking care of aging parents while running a business or leading an organization. And so when I talk about capacity, I really do mean reclaiming your soul's work and remembering your own divinity, remembering that you are sacred. And so I want to emphasize that this isn't strategy or networking. This is a soft space. It is a sacred space. It is a soul renewal space. What we're going to do is what I really want to highlight is that this is a spiritual practice, intuitive clarity, in a community of sisterhood to practice asking and to practice vulnerability, but also understanding no matter what side of history your ancestors were on, it is up to us to repair. Maybe perhaps in the form of reparation, or if you're a BIPOC person, in the form of rest and resistance and saying no. And so, how do we use our power and how do we use our privilege? So, what I want to outline deeply is the rest and reflection. For those of you who want the elevated experience, you will be able to receive a intuitive brand session. We're in a 9 year. And so in a 9 year, we end things. This is transformation. So whatever you have been doing that maybe has not felt in alignment, maybe has felt like status quo. I would love to use my intuitive gift to help you navigate what your next looks like, what your rebirth looks like. So that when you move into the power of the 10 year, you move so with clarity. And so this experience is retreat, spiritual renewal, clarity for your business, and media visibility. For those of you who decide to move into the elevated experience, we only have 3 of those available. You'll also become a segment sponsor for the podcast Soul of a Lead Her, for She Who Lives and Works from the Soul, and the Brenda Williams Show. So I want to bring this back, though, to the bigger vision. This is to bring you back to the broader movement of Culture Shifters Unite. This retreat is designed to help you move forward from burnout into brilliance, from silence to voice. And this is an ecosystem where we're weaving a podcast, a show, and memberships into one event. And as I close, this will happen on September 27th. And it will be in Metro Detroit. Once you purchase your ticket, we'll disclose the location. So, but if you're feeling froggy and you want to travel from another area, I would say, come on, I invite you. You can click here in the show notes to go straight to the retreat. But if you've been feeling the weight of this world, if you have been consistently outraged at the genocide that is befalling not just Palestine, but we have to say Congo, we have to say Sudan, we have to speak of Haiti, we have to talk about hello, DC, Chicago, right here on US soil, right? Where we have an elected official who is essentially detained because she's standing on business, standing for her full rights as a human to say no. This is enough to drive us to a place of despair. But I know that no matter what it looks like, no matter the darkness that may be surrounding us, we are the light. We are the ones that we've been waiting for. We are the answers to the problems of this generation. And just like our ancestors before us understood the assignment, they understood that it took spiritual technology, it took community. They understood that standing up in the face of great opposition, that the master's tools, in the words of Audre Lorde, would never destroy the master's house. So what are those new tools? Well, they're not new tools at all. It's the tools of solidarity and community. It's using your power and your privilege wherever you may find yourself. It is about doing, not so much doing more, but doing things with intention, on purpose, with a purpose, to be clear about what your next steps are. And maybe that next step is to rest. And what does integrated rest look throughout your day, your week, your month, your year? I posed the question the other day. If you only had 5 yeses a month, how would you use them? And so let that, if nothing else, if you don't attend this retreat, let that be what you sit with. What if you only had 5 yeses a month? And that's your ration of yeses. What would you be saying yes to? So I want to close with this, and this is a journal prompt for you, wherever you may find yourself. Where in my life am I being asked to expand my capacity? And where am I being asked to release? So I'm going to say that again. Where in my life am I being asked to expand my capacity? And where am I being asked to release? So I hope as you contemplate joining us, like I said, it'll be in the Metro Detroit area. We'll have breakfast for you as well as a nourishing lunch. We will have breakout sessions where you'll be able to seen and be seen. We'll even work on your soul resume. Yes, that is your gifts, skills, natural talents, and abilities. What are those and how do we use them in service to humanity? But even deeper work, what is it that you have been carrying that you have been afraid to release? Because sometimes we make it all about us, we make it so personal and about our identity. But building capacity is really about letting go. And this is a perfect year to do so. And today is 9/9. So this is even a better day to do things that are nourishing and that require a release so that you can use both your hands. And I hope that when you use both those hands, they are to go into a prayer position, but also a hug for yourself. So again, my name is Brenda Williams. I hope this retreat enlivens you and that the notion of it, you share it with someone. You can purchase a ticket for yourself, or you can purchase a ticket for you and a friend. We have payment plans available. So if you go over to the website, and what I want to make sure that I drop into the comments, you can sign up right there for the retreat. So again, it's for the end of this month. It is on 9/27 in the Metro Detroit area from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you'd like to join us, I will be so happy to have you. But there are so many benefits to renewal and release, and definitely sound therapy is something that we're going to incorporate into this so that, again, you can release. If you were looking for an elevated experience where you really want to reimagine your brand, and I would even say deeper than your brand, in my framework, we have something called a soul signature, where it's the energy that you bring into a room or into a space before you even utter a word. It's the feeling tone that you allow others to experience when they experience you. So I hope that this has invited you into some deep query and investigation. And like I said, sit with that question. If you only had 5 yeses a month, what would you be saying yes to? All right, well, sit with that. My name is Brenda Williams. Bye for now. And if you have any questions, please DM me. I'd love to hear back from you. Peace.